Okay, cool. My first time trying out the Rode Wireless Go. Just gonna use the mic on the transceiver piece. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so some life updates. So I just had surgery. So on June 1st, I had an appendicectomy. Appendicectomy. That thing where they take out your appendix. Anyway, I was filming that day, it was totally fine. Then when I went back home, my lower right abdomen was in pain. And I've had those pains before in the past, but I've always, managed to sleep it off and it would go away. But when I laid on the bed just to rest up a bit, I had this abrupt fever that just shot up. It was like 101.8 or something like that. So weird. So anyway, I just wanted to sleep it off, but my wife said we should probably go to urgent care just in case. So long story short, they found out that I had an appendicitis and I was admitted to the hospital that very night, where I had surgery the following morning. It was a very short operation, probably about maybe 15 minutes, but I've been recovering since then. So I really haven't had the energy to film pretty much anything other than this. Fortunately, I had a backlog of videos that were just ready to go and upload. And so at least I had some content coming out, but I am now ready to start filming some content again. Well, kind of. I probably won't put out as much content as usual. I just want to make sure that I take it easy and recover properly so that when I start filming properly again, then I'm back to normal. So there you go. Jamba Juice, not sponsored. But I did want to make this video just to give you that update, but also to answer some questions. And also, this is kind of me testing out the Rode Wireless Go mic. This is literally the first time I've actually tested out the mic, and I'm hoping it sounds okay. I think I just left the default settings on the transceiver and receiver, and on my Sony a6400, the audio record level is set to 3, and so I'm hoping that sounds right. Okay, here we go. Question time. So first question is from Max Ho, and Max asks, is full frame important? No, not at all. I mean, a lot of the workhorse cameras like the GH5, the C200, all those cameras, FS5 Mark II, like they're not full frame. Like they are crop censored cameras, and many of them are production cameras, and so I don't think full frame is absolutely necessary. It's just a look that people prefer. I know for a lot of photographers, having a full frame camera is absolutely crucial to their line of work, whether it's portraits or, other things. I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm still recovering. But having a full frame camera is definitely not necessary for film work. If it's your preference, then obviously go for a full frame camera. But if you are working with crop sensor cameras like the GH5 or the C200, whatever, you just gotta get the right lenses for that specific camera. And on that, I don't think it's really the camera at all that actually matters, but more about the lens. And so, I'm shooting with a Sony a6400, even though it's not my main camera. My main camera is a Sony a7 III, and I use the 24-70 G Master lens on that. But for this crop sensor camera, I am using the Sigma 16mm 1.4, and that's just because it's a really good lens for this type of camera. And so, is full frame important? Not really. Good question though. How's this mic going? Man, that would suck if this didn't work at all. Jamba Juice. It's actually pretty nice that I don't have to be so close to the camera, because that's where my mic is usually placed, on top of the camera, and I have to be at a certain distance so that the audio is good. But I can talk right here, and the audio should theoretically be nice. You know what? I'm gonna answer this next question right over here. I'm gonna lean back on a wall because, surgery. Next question is from Josh. Josh asks, how did you get your first job? Getting the first clients without much of a portfolio of previous jobs or a following? Good question. I just asked friends and family. I mean, I would do, a portrait session here and there. I just did a lot of things for free until I started getting paid work. And so you just gotta start from somewhere. I know it's really hard for many people that are starting out in film or photography to see other people succeed when you want to be there right away. But the thing is that you have to be patient. We all started with zero. Everyone on YouTube, every photographer started out with nothing. We all had that crappy camera, we all had that crappy lens, but we worked hard, we gave it our all, and when we started getting paid work, then we slowly started to upgrade our gear, which then enhanced the quality of our work, which led to more clients. And so you just have to start somewhere. Everyone does. And so, good question though. Next question is, when are you coming up to beautiful Vancouver to host a meet and greet photo walk? Would be so freaking cool. It would be so freaking cool, man. I've been to Vancouver one time. It was beautiful, absolutely lovely. I want to come back, do a photo walk. That'd be so freaking cool. Maybe one day. Maybe I'll invite Dana. Okay, next question is, I'm actually liking being away from the camera this far. All right, next question is from Denny. Denny asks, what is a very underrated piece of equipment in your gear? Ooh, that is a really good question. I would have to say gaff tape. I cannot film or take photos without having gaff tape in my bag. I mean, I use gaff tape for everything, whether it's putting a marker on the ground for the talents, or having to patch up, you know, something that broke. Like, gaff tape is like a lifesaver for pretty much anyone in the creative field. And so if you don't have gaff tape, man, you're missing out. Next question is from Mr. Brandon Lee. Brandon asks, as a father, husband, employee, and business owner, how do you find ways to not only take care of yourself, but love your wife and kids well, work well with integrity, and hustle? Seems like a lot to juggle. I'm struggling without the wife and kid, and they'd be really important. Yeah, it is absolutely hard to, well, I mean, it's hard to do YouTube, but it's really hard to balance all those things in real time. So for me, what I've learned is that you have to place the most important things in your life first. That should be your number one priority. So obviously my goal is to go on YouTube full time. You know, I still have a full-time job and I have a family, but I have to meet those responsibilities first. I want to make sure that my wife feels loved. I want to make sure that my kids know that I am around. And I also want to make sure that I do good work at my full-time job. That's called integrity, and that's called good character. I don't do it right all the time, but I certainly try my best. And so once I know that those things are met and that I've fulfilled my responsibilities for those things, then I can give what's rest of me to doing YouTube and building my business and all that stuff. So in all, it's really all about prioritizing. It's all about compartmentalizing, you know, your tasks, and it's all about, you know, using every spare minute you have to building your business, building your brand, whatever it is. And at the same time, always making sure that the things that are most important to your life always come first. This thing is really helping. Good question, Brandon. All right, 2 more questions. Ooh, DD Mikes. They ask, as you've seen gear trends change over the past few years, as what's the hot go-to items, where do you see gear shifting to in the next few years? Wow, that is a really good question. Hopefully to cheaper prices. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot more AI integrated features into the products that we know and love. I don't know exactly what that might look like, but I could definitely see a portrait mode, you know, coming out in mirrorless cameras. And so whatever lens that you might have, you might end up with some images that might look like it was shot on an f1.4 lens or whatever. I don't know. I personally would like to see a lot more reliability in all cameras. I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons to all cameras, but I just want the simple things in life. You know, I want a camera with a battery that lasts really long. I would like to see a lot of video features from production cameras integrated into these smaller mirrorless DSLR cameras, and indestructible. I want a camera that's indestructible. Something that I can just throw and know that it won't break, because me and gravity don't really play well together. It's a very still hurts. All right, last question. From a church perspective, when filming with virtually no budget, how can you get a well-produced final product without the cheesiness of underproduction and basically make it look better? Or should it be done more raw? That's a really good question, and actually a really, really real question. So yeah, I've worked at a church before and in other organizations where you virtually have no budget. And when you have no budget, you know, you can't really expect to produce top-notch quality videos. You just can't. I mean, at the end of the day, if you really want high-quality videos, you gotta pay for it. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. But if you are the creative director of a church or an organization and you don't really have that star videographer or star photographer to help you produce content, you just have to learn it yourself. Look up on YouTube. YouTube's the greatest university in the whole wide world. I mean, it's honestly the best film school in the entire world. Sorry, Chapman University, still paying you. Now, I know that's kind of a bleak answer and it's very much harder to do than to listen, but who knows, you might end up becoming a really good content creator. And also, just be patient. You might end up meeting a very young, talented content creator who's eager to film or take photos for free or volunteer their time to. Ask around, maybe there might be somebody out there looking for an opportunity to start creating. But I would just say, just learn the content yourself and see if you can do it, or you could just fork up the money and pay for a video producer, which probably might be the easiest option. Okay, well, that's all the questions, but hey, thanks so much for still sticking around, you know? Thanks for watching my videos. I honestly appreciate every single one of you. And for those of you that sent me DMs wishing me a well recovery, like that means the world to me, knowing that you're thinking of me and all that stuff. It's just so much love in the air. Maybe not so much here, but definitely over here. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Be patient. More content will be coming soon. I just want to recover first. But I love you all oh so much. Have an incredible day, and I will see you in the next video. Hopefully the audio is working. Oh well. Okay, bye.